Good time.
Come up through the struggle, not too many get to tell. Got up and shook it off every time we ever fail.
Why do we fall? So we can learn to pick ourselves back up.
Transportation make you happy when your life a living hell. Sirens jump behind us praying we don't go to jail.
Window skimp, 2 attempts, handed bands over. Sicko hit, shot and missed, 2 to stand over.
Turn up.
Breadwinner, huh? Look who in the building. Let me check my Instagram, I might be at 1 million.
And I'm in.
Pistone, you out your mind, I'm out mine, bet not flinch wrong. I'm on my grind, rock supplying like the Flintstones. Reputation on the line and the clips long. They 9 to 5 slang at 9, you get blitzed on.
Hey, yo, what's going on, and welcome back to another edition of Mike on Sports, and I am your host, Michael Gross, and man, let's go ahead and get right into it, man. This is the week 10 of the NFL, and we're going to wrap some shit up and talk about the weekend that we had in football. Let's start with the Sunday night game of the night, the game of the week, the spotlight game. The Minnesota Vikings went down to Cowboys Stadium and put it on those Cowboys. I'm talking about Dalvin Cook, Kirk Cousins, Stephon Diggs, Rudolph. Them boys went down there and balled, and they really impressed me, man. I was really impressed by the play of Dalvin Cook, man. Dalvin Cook was just a man amongst boys last night. He definitely put his foot in the ground, made great cuts, just a total just dominating kind of like running game, you know what I'm saying? Like they didn't really have a whole lot of success in the running game at first, but they really stuck to it and stuck with it, and really made me a believer, you know what I'm saying? Like I was impressed by what I've seen from the Minnesota Vikings. And we all know that a Mike Zimmer coach team is going to be a good coach football team. But glad I'm not seeing Kirk Cousins make some of the same mistakes that he made earlier this year. Was 23 out of 32 for 220 yards, 2 touchdowns. Nothing overly that jumps out at you, but he was solid, had solid play. Dalvin Cook, 26 carries, 97 yards. 1 touchdown, 3.7 average, but that really doesn't tell like the tale of like the second half and late in that first half. The tide really started to change when Dalvin started to go downhill. Also, we have Stephon Diggs, 3 receptions, 49 yards. Dalvin Cook was the number 1 receiver, 7 receptions, 86 yards. He was almost over 200 yards total. Calvin Rudolph, 2 touchdowns. He's a big time red zone threat. And it's going, man. I'm going to be excited to see how Minnesota finishes up. Like, will they finish out strong, or will they like falter down the stretch? But under Mike Zimmerman, man, they've been doing very good, and they normally do finish out strong. Now, we got to talk about that defense last night, though. The defense from the Vikings on Zeke Elliott was phenomenal. I mean, utterly phenomenal. Like, they took Zeke out of the game last night. They made it to where Dak Prescott was going to had to be the guy to beat them. It wasn't going to be Zeke. It was not going to be Zeke. Zeke had 20 carries last night for 47 yards, 2.4 yards a carry. Dak Prescott threw the ball 46 times last night. 3 yards shy of 400, 3 touchdowns, 1 interception. Dak did good. I'm not going to sit here and harp on Dak, but when it's those clutch moments, you know what I'm saying, when it's down the stretch and you have opportunities to get the first down, you have opportunity to score a touchdown, and you have to settle for a field goal. Those are the moments that they are going to lean on when the season is over with, and say, when you say you want to be paid the highest be paid quarterback, they're gonna look at moments like this right here when you say you did not get us over the hump. They took out our running back Zeke Elliott. Zeke got paid. He got his money. They're looking at you now. They're looking at what you're gonna bring, and maybe last night they can look at maybe after the season and say, hey, Dak, man, you didn't produce for us when we really needed you to. When the chips were on his line and when the things were at its biggest against the Vikings, you fell short and you were at home. Right now, the Cowboys are tied in the NFC East with the Philadelphia Eagles. I think they hold the tiebreaker though, so we'll see how that plays out. But very impressed by what I've seen from the Minnesota Vikings last night, man. Minnesota showed me some shit, bro. Ain't gonna lie to you, Kirk Cousins out there balling, man. Kirk, what up, Kirk? God damn it. Now let's go ahead and move on to some more scores right quick. Let me get to it. Hold on. Who we have next on the docket? We got the Rams and Steelers, man. Lower scoring game. The biggest takeaway from this game is, man, you got to give Mike Tomlin a hell of a lot of credit. Lost Antonio Brown, lost Le'Veon Bell. James Conner is not really producing. The running game is pretty much non-existent. Lost Big Ben Roethlisberger. Got Mason Rudolph back in after he had that scary looking concussion. He got those guys playing with a lot of heart, and that defense is really what's holding the Pittsburgh Steelers afloat. 17 points on offense is not a whole lot of points. We all know that. Sam, that's an interesting stat. 8-1 in November games since 2017, best in the NFL. So Pittsburgh Steelers normally doing what they do in the middle of the season, right in the thick of things. Really got to give a lot of credit to Mike Tomlin, man. But those Rams, bro, like what are the Rams gonna do? Like, has the league really caught up with Coach Sean McVay, or is it just not really a healthy Todd Gurley? So your offense is going to go as far as Todd Gurley is when he's healthy. Jared Goff is a good quarterback, but I don't see Jared Goff being a world-beating kind of quarterback. I know he's still young in his career, but there's been things that I've seen in Jared Goff's play that says he kind of shrinks when things are at his peak and when chips are on the line. So I don't know, man. I don't know. The Rams are going to have to do a lot of soul searching. They have the Seahawks. They have the 49ers in that division. They also have the Arizona Cardinals, who are not a bad team. The Arizona Cardinals can put points on the board. Kyler Murray is looking like a legit number one pick. So they're not like have gimmies in that division. So it's going to be interesting to see how the Rams bounce back from this loss to a Pittsburgh team that doesn't have Ben, doesn't have Antonio Brown or Le'Veon Bell or even James Conner for that matter. So hats off to Mike Tomlin, man. I really am admiring the job you're doing with that Pittsburgh team. The Miami Dolphins been playing well the past 2 weeks, man. They went down to, came up to Indianapolis, where I'm currently located, and they beat the Colts. Jacoby Brissett was injured early on this week. I believe he got the late nod to go ahead and play. The Colts are just like one of those teams that I am baffled by, because one week or one Sunday you beat a team that has Pat Mahomes and y'all beat him before Pat Mahomes got injured, and then the next week you look lackluster and you eke out a win, and now you Jacoby Brissett did not play. Brian Hoyer played, and I mean, I guess that's enough. That's all you really need to know right there. Brian Hoyer played. He was a quarterback. 18 of 39, 204 yards, 1 touchdown, 3 interceptions. Marlon Mack, 19 carries, 74 yards. Yeah, man. I can't really blame the Colts for losing. Got to put that on Brian Hoyer. Not a very good quarterback, but it is what it is. Ryan Fitzpatrick got the Dolphins winning, 21 out of 33, 169 yards, one interception. But yeah, man, not really much to talk about with this game. Yeah, man, just one mediocre team playing and the bad Dolphins who have been looking good the past 2 weeks. So I can't give them credit where credit is due. But moving right along, what we got up next, man? Who we got up next? And real quick for all the Cowboy fans out there. Yeah, boy, Davin Cook. You see, look at that. He missed the leg. Nope, you can't get the leg. Well, them Cowboys falling all over the place trying to tackle that boy. But moving right along, man. In a game that was exciting right down to the finish, that came down to a missed field goal, the Titans beat the Chiefs, man. What a game-winning drive from Ryan Tannehill, getting the ball back, taking his team down the field, catching big passes down the field, taking off, getting the first down with your legs. Really, really, really was impressed by what I seen in Ryan Tannehill yesterday, man. I think Marcus Mariota might not ever get his job back the way it was looking. And Ryan Tannehill, man, you gotta like a comeback story, right? This guy was let go out of Miami, but rightfully so. Got a lot of money down in Miami, but really didn't produce when it was time. But him, man, he brought those boys back yesterday. 13 out of 19, 181 yards, 2 touchdowns. Derrick Henry is just a man amongst boys. Really, 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 really glad to see that he really panned out. And a lot of those draft experts were wrong picking all those running backs before him, man. He's a big guy, fast guy, nimble guy, strong guy, and averaged 8.2 yards a carry yesterday. 23 carries, 188 yards, 2 touchdowns. That's a recipe for winning right there when you can run the ball that effectively. Also, Tannehill chipped in with his own little rushing yards. He had then like 3 carries for 37 yards, and a big scramble in the fourth quarter that really, really, really ignited them and pushed them over the top over the Kansas City Chiefs, who I've been high on. I mean, I am a big time Andy Reid fan. If you haven't heard me say it already, Andy Reid gets a lot of guys paid. You can go from Kevin Cobb to Nick Foles to Michael Vick, Donovan McNabb, Alex Smith. List goes on and on. Brian Westbrook. I mean, he gets guys paid when you play in the system and you produce. Deshaun Jackson, you get big money. But Pat Mahomes, 36 out of 50, 446 yards, 3 touchdowns, really didn't do anything wrong. You know what I'm saying? Their defense is really, really, really stops the Chiefs from being the best team in the NFL. Their defense is nothing to brag about. Damian Williams had 19 carries, 77 yards, 4.1 yards a carry. Receiving yards, Tyreek Hill 11 receptions, 157 yards. Travis Kelce 7 for 75. Marco Hardman 1 for 63. DeMarcus Robinson 4 for 56. Sidney Watkins 5 for 39. Damian Williams 5 for 32. So the ball was spread out. And yeah, man, if they don't show up their defense, then they're gonna be in for a long season, man, and a rude awakening, man, because they can't stop nobody, and that's the name of the game in football. Like, you're gonna have to get a stop sooner or later, and yeah, this is bad. The Jets beat the Giants 34-27. Didn't really watch that game. Yeah, I'm not really interested in either New York team. Both teams are not that good. But the upset of the week, the upset of the year, the upset of the decade, the Atlanta Falcons go into New Orleans and beat the New Orleans Saints, bro. What a man, football is one of those sports that, man, you don't know what the fuck is going to happen, man, week to week, given the circumstances, because Ain't no way in hell you would told me that the Falcons gonna go down to New Orleans and beat the Saints. Man, get the fuck out of here. And that's exactly what happened. They couldn't. The Saints couldn't get off. Couldn't convert on the third down. I mean, that's the name of the game. Like, they couldn't convert, and like they didn't score a touchdown. Like, that's another thing. Like, we got to think about. Like, the Saints didn't score a touchdown. Like, when did that happen? I mean, like, it's one of those anomalies, man. I don't give it much credence, but hats off to Matt Ryan, 20 out of 35, 182 yards. Rushing Brian Hill, Devontae Freeman. Pedestrian kind of numbers, 20 for 61, 10 for 38. I mean, it's not like they just had a plethora of yards rushing. Julio Jones, 3 receptions, 79 yards, 9 targets, though. So, I mean, it wasn't like he just had a big game, too. It was just, I guess it was the defensive effort holding the Saints to 9 points and really, like, just stopping them, you know what I'm saying? But it's one of those rivalry games, one of those division games that sometimes you can get the best of your opponent when they're overlooking you. And I have to believe that with Drew Brees being his second game back, them getting Kamara back, they were just overlooking the Atlanta Falcons in that game. But hats off to the Falcons, man. They never you can never count on them when you need them, but when you don't need them for shit, they'll get you a damn solid win. Moving right along, the Panthers beat the Packers lost to the Panthers, or Packers beat the Panthers, whatever you want to say it. Fucking Aaron Rodgers, man, got the Pack looking like a legitimate playoff contending kind of team, championship contending kind of team. Panthers, man, I guess the honeymoon is over. Kyle Allen, I mean, he is what he is. Not going to sit here and shit on the guy, but at the end of the day, I don't think he's better than Cam Newton. I think he's nowhere near being the athlete or the quarterback Cam Newton was. And I think it was ludicrous for all these analysts and all these people on TV to say the Panthers are better off with Cam Newton and they should trade Cam. I mean, I'm with that. Trade Cam Newton because I don't like how the Panthers have been using Cam Newton. I don't like Ron Rivera. I don't like the lack of getting Cam Newton's weapons. You guys want to build through the draft and shit. Sometimes you got to go out and get one of these big time free agents, you know what I'm saying, to improve your teams. But it is what it is. The Packers overcome the Panthers 24-16. I would have probably been intrigued to see if the game would have been a little different. If Cam would have played, but the Packers are sitting atop that NFC North. Got the Vikings right on the heel, so there'll be a good game between those two later on this year when they meet again. We got next, Bills and Browns. Now that was a game right here, man. It was another exciting game with an exciting finish, man. Big ups to NFL Red Zone, man. They always keep you tuned in to what's going on, even if you're not watching the game. So, gotta give a big shout out to NFL Red Zone. It's a channel that I frequent every Sunday. But yeah, man. The Browns. What can I say about the Browns, bro? They made a concerted effort to go and target Odell Beckham Jr. to like get him in a game. I'm not a big Baker Mayfield fan, but I was impressed with his poise that he showed yesterday. 26 out of 38 with 238 yards, 2 touchdowns. He has to get better at reading defenses and things like that. Nick Chubb is a absolute workhorse. 20 carries, 116 yards, 5.8 a carry. Kareem Hunt made his season debut with 4 carries, 30 yards. Had a couple of receptions too. Averaged 7.5 yards a carry. At the end of the day, man, the Browns have really been a disappointment this year. The Buffalo Bills have been a surprise. I thought Buffalo was going to be able to do enough to win with their defense, but when you only get 16 points from your offense, then it's going to be hard to really win in the NFL, man. I believe in the NFL you need to score at least 21 points, if not 24. to compete in every game. Jarvis Landry had 10 targets, 9 receptions, 97 yards. Odell Beckham Jr. had 12 targets, 5 receptions, and 57 yards. Kareem Hunt had 9 targets, 7 receptions, and 44 yards. So good day receiving from Belcom and Landry. They have 14 receptions between them, almost 100 and over 150 yards. So 1 touchdown. I mean, good production out of the wide receiving core. But I want to get to the Buffalo Bills, man. Like, damn, you guys had the game and right thing you grasped, man. Josh Allen was playing well, not overly well, but he was playing well enough for you guys to win, man. I just think that you need some better play calling, man. Like, I'm watching the game and you guys are just too vanilla. It's like, is Josh Allen a bust sometimes when it comes to the run? John Brown is your best receiver with Cole Beasley. Like, you're going to need a big-time receiver in this coming draft. Like, you got to give Josh some things to work with out there. You know what I'm saying? He held it together for as long as he could, but at the end of the day, I mean, it was tough. It was tough to get the ball out to the position and skill positions, and you don't really have a clear-cut advantage, or even maybe even you know what I'm saying? I mean, the Cleveland Browns played some pretty good defense yesterday, so got to give credit to what they were able to do against the Buffalo Bills. But moving right along, man, a couple more games we're going to get to, and then I'm going to get up out of here. Ravens and Bengals, man. Lamar Jackson is the NFL MVP to this point. He is the baddest man walking in the NFL right now. This brother is on another level. Reminds me of 2006 Michael Vick on Madden. Not the actual Michael Vick. I'm talking about the Madden Michael Vick. The one could nobody fuck with. The one that everybody ran to and picked just to do shit with on the game. This is what Lamar Jackson is doing. The way he made the Bengals look yesterday was incredible. He made them boys like a Pop Warner team going against a fucking powerhouse NFL team, and that's exactly what we seen. We seen him do that hellacious spin move. We seen him do the things that he needed to do. The perfect passer rating, 15 out of 17, 2 touchdowns. Then ran for another 2 touchdowns. Like, there's nothing, and I repeat, there's absolutely nothing that Lamar Jackson cannot do on the field. Once he gets this passing down, and people keep on saying, he got to be a better passer. You got to be a better passer. You ain't got to be a better passer when you do this right here. Whoop! You ain't got to be a better passer when you can do that. The fuck I got to pass the ball for, nigga. Look at me. But, you know what I'm saying? I'm just talking shit right now. Of course, being a quarterback, that's part of your job description. But Lamar Jackson, man, is simply on another level right now. There is, I mean, when you look at it, bro, like, if you're starting a franchise right now and you're able to pick up quarterbacks, you're not telling me Lamar Jackson is not going to be a top 5 quarterback that is picked right now to start your franchise. I've been happy from the standpoint that all these people out here that said Lamar needs to change position, Lamar, he's going out here and showing you that he can get the job done. And big ups to John Harbaugh and the Baltimore Ravens for putting in a system that he can thrive in, you know what I'm saying, using those 3 tight ends, you know what I'm saying, really improving that run game was very, very important to the trajectory and the development of Lamar Jackson, and I absolutely love watching this guy play. There's not a week that goes by that I'm not tuned in to the Lamar Jackson game because of what he does on the field. But real quick to wrap up with these stats right quick. Ravens 49, the Bengals 13, absolute beat down. Lamar Jackson threw for 3 touchdowns. They even had a Heisman package where they had Lamar, Robert, and Mark Ingram in all at once. in the backfield, which I thought was pretty cool. Also ran for another touchdown, 7 carries, 65 yards. Uh, yeah, man, just nothing that this guy can't do. And big ups to Marcus Peters over there, man, with an interception return for a touchdown, 89-yard return. Been a great addition to that Baltimore defense, and really excited to see Baltimore and the run that they make in the postseason, man. It's going to be a good year of football in the postseason. A couple more games, I believe we got the Lions and Bears, which was another good game that came back down to the wire. Matthew Stafford was ruled out because of injury. His backup played. I had some money on that game, fucked up and lost the money because I didn't know that Matt was going to get ruled out that fucking early morning. And the Chargers and Raiders. The Raiders was able to beat the Chargers on Thursday Night Football, so big ups to the Raiders. And tonight we have in my opinion, another top-notch, top-flight game. And man, it's the San Francisco 49ers at the Seattle Seahawks at the San Francisco 49ers. Real quick, man, quiet as kept, man. The motherfucking 49ers have been impressive this year. The running attack, the defense, the Jimmy G, porn star Jimmy Garoppolo, however you want to say it, like, it's been very intriguing to see. Like, look at this quarterback comparison. Right now, Russell Wilson is right there in the discussion for MVP, completing 68% of his passes, throwing for 278 yards a game, 22 touchdowns and 1 interception. 22 touchdowns and 1 interception. 118 passer rating, that is incredible. Jimmy G's completing almost 70% of his passing, 225 yards a game, 13 touchdowns, 7 interception with 100 passer rating. So, yeah, man, it's going to be cool. The defenses are 14 in points. The Seahawks are allowing 14 a game. The San Fran is allowing 13 a game. They're both like really good on defense too, so it should be a great game tonight. You're probably gonna lean towards San Fran because they are at home. They have one of the best tight ends in the game, great George Kittle. He's been absolutely balling this year. Tyler, I like it, but I like DJ Metcalf for Russell Wilson. He's a rookie, been playing really good. It should be a great game tonight, man, on Monday Night Football on ESPN, man. I'm glad to see that San Fran is back, and like when San Fran's good on the West Coast, or Oakland is good on the West Coast, it just makes football better, in my opinion. Yeah, man. So big game tonight. Ready to see how it plays out, but I'm gonna give y'all a prediction. I'm gonna go with the upset. I'm going Seattle Seahawks beat the San Francisco 49ers tonight. And that has been the Week 10 review and preview for Monday Night Football. Until next time, this is Michael Gross, and you're watching Mike on Sports. Peace out. Yes, sir. Y'all know what it is, man. Trying to get this shit right. I probably gotta cut this shit down. You know what I'm saying? Gotta cut that shit down.